Have you ever wanted to help someone even though they didn't explicitly ask you to? And how did it go? And have you ever wondered if your good intentions could, in fact, have caused a negative ripple effect that you weren't aware of? In the Zen story you are about to hear, we will see that not helping others, unless they ask you, is best for them and for yourself. So stay until the end, because what you discover thanks to Buddhist wisdom could change the way you see the world of human relationships. In essence, you will see how helping those who do not want to be helped can have negative repercussions on your life and theirs, and you will discover how your karma will be affected. But before continuing, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and share the video. These small gestures will help us produce new content every day for your spiritual growth. In a quiet Buddhist monastery, surrounded by lush gardens and ancient trees, the old and sagacious monk Norio gathered his disciples to talk about a topic very close to everyone's hearts. His curiosity was palpable and his eyes were fixed on Norio. They all wanted to understand more about the reasons why, when they had helped someone, things had not gone as they would have liked. Life is like a great river, and each of us is a small boat navigating this tumultuous course. Norio began in a calm voice. Often we tend to jump into that current, trying to steer other people's boats without waiting to be asked. To make the metaphor he had just used understand, Norio shared a story passed down through the centuries. He spoke of a young monk eager to help a companion in difficulty without being asked. The monk's intervention, although well-intentioned, caused a succession of unexpected events, creating an intricate labyrinth of challenges, even dramatic, for both. You should know, Norio continued, that suffering is a necessary lesson in our spiritual growth. Each individual, like a jewel, is shaped by the pressures of life and the challenges they face. But when we intervene without being called, we rob them of the opportunity to learn, grow, and train. To further clarify his lesson, Norio spoke of two friends, Shoin and Masu, who had shared joys and sorrows since their school days. One day, Shoin heard about the financial problems Masu had found himself in and decided to secretly help him by paying off some debts that his friend couldn't pay. His intentions, said the master, were naturally good. However, Shoin's gesture had unexpected and disastrous consequences. Masu, although grateful to his friend for the unsolicited help, was deprived of the opportunity to resolve the situation in his own way. Additionally, he noted that Shoin had discovered some details about his personal life that he would have preferred to keep confidential. On the one hand, this led Masu to feel an emotional detachment from his friend. On the other hand, Shoin began to feel a growing strain on the friendship. He felt that his act of kindness had not produced the relief he had hoped for, but had instead generated a sense of shame and a change in the dynamic of the friendship itself. In short, unsolicited help had created discord and confusion, demonstrating how, in life, even good deeds can have unexpected consequences. What we often don't understand is that each individual is at the mercy of their own karma, Norio explained, and every action we take, good or bad, comes back to us like an echo. When we help without being asked to do so, we upset the delicate balance of another person's karma and paradoxically harm our own as well. The old monk told other stories, such as that of a young man who, eager to solve the problems of a dear friend without her having asked him, found himself involved in a series of endless difficulties and misadventures. If you enter a labyrinth that is not yours but someone else's without being asked, Norio continued, you could set off a chain reaction of events, creating an intricate web of karmic connections. And your gesture of friendship no matter how absurd it may seem, could end up doing more harm to the friend in question and to yourself. Imagine wanting to cure someone without asking them if they are willing to give up the things that made them sick. Norio said, "Suffering is often caused by past actions, and our intervention could alter the natural course of learning that the individual should ultimately experience." Norio then went on to talk about Buddhist teachings, highlighting how even he himself had resisted the temptation to intervene without request. Buddha, the monk explained, had understood the sacredness of the individual learning process and how the karma of each being must be respected. Suffering is a very severe but precious teacher, Norio continued, using other everyday examples to better illustrate the concept. He spoke of the many moments when, seeing a friend or family member in difficulty, empathy pushed him to offer help, and how instead, Buddha taught the wisdom of waiting for the person themselves to ask for help. Suffering is almost always the result of past actions, and karma is the supreme law that governs the universe, Norio said. When we intervene unsolicited, we enter a karmic vortex that can drag us into other people's problems, with unpredictable consequences for both of us. Remember, suffering is like a teacher who guides us along the path of spiritual growth, said Norio. To interfere with this process is to deprive others of the wisdom that only suffering itself can teach. Norio told other stories about daily life at the monastery, showing how the monks applied these teachings in daily practice. Dozens of monks I have trained, he added, became wiser and more self-confident men precisely because I avoided intervening directly in their problems. By resisting the temptation to intervene to solve certain problems, I allowed them to face their own challenges and learn the lessons that karma had in store for them. Every action we take is like throwing a stone into a pond, Norio said, using a metaphor to clarify the concept. The ripples spread and return to us. When we help without asking, we not only influence the karma of others, but we create ripples that can impact our own lives. In conclusion, what do we understand from this story, and how can you help us? The moral we can draw from this story is a reminder of the wisdom of discerning when to reach out and when to wait. Karma, like an unbroken river, carries our actions with it, and the way we offer our help can alter the very structure of destiny. Before reaching out to help someone, we must reflect on what they really need, Norio admonished. Not everyone seeks advice. Sometimes they just need a listening ear and an understanding heart. Therefore, let us always remember to respect the sacredness of the individual path of each human being. Help should never be an impulsive act, but rather a conscious gesture, respectful of free will, and the path of personal and spiritual growth of others and ourselves. Life is an intricate web of lessons and opportunities for growth. When we offer our help without being called, we can deprive others of the precious opportunity to learn about themselves. Wisdom lies in recognizing that sometimes the best lesson is the one learned through one's own effort and experience. Therefore, let our help be a beacon of light, offered when requested with awareness and respect, rather than a chain of unexpected events.